In the last video, we prepared the data and we talked about getting started for doing a data merge, these basic rules for a data merge. This video here, we're going to create the template in InDesign and get ready to merge the data. So I'm going to move over to InDesign here, and we're just going to create a template from scratch. So we're going to go to the File menu, say New Document. I'm going to go with a letter size piece of paper because I can get a template at the store. I'm going to change it to inches here. We have a letter size piece of paper. It's portrait mode. I'm going to uncheck facing pages because we don't need that. For margins, I'm going to uncheck the margins here, and then I'm going to take the top margin up to 1 inch and the bottom margin up to 1 inch. We'll leave the left and right at 1/2 inch. And then I will say create. Okay, so here we've got one page and we're ready to create a name tag. And basically what we're going to end up with is like 6 name tags here, kind of tiled on this piece of paper that we can print out and cut up. So to get started, I'm just going to draw a text frame to be able to put the names in. I'm just going to draw a frame any old size I want, and we can size it by going back to the black arrow tool and then up here to the measurements in the control bar, and we can make the width of it 4 inches, and let's uncheck the proportional, and we'll make the height of 3. So we have a text frame box where the height is 3 and the width is 4. And then inside it, it doesn't matter where we place it on the page actually, but inside of it we're going to put in a name. So we want to design the name tag first. So I'm going to just double click in here, and that gets me in here, and then I'm going to type in a very long name. I'll just say long name, let's say long first name, and then long last name. That way if I have something like that, it makes it so that people that have long names, I'm preparing for people with long names. And then below that we're going to have city and state, where they're located. And so now we just want to format this to be how we want it to look. You can format it how you want it to look. You don't have to use the same formatting as me, but I'm just going to go with a font of, let's say, not LucidFX. I was just going to go with Myriad Pro. And that one will be the same as that, Myriad Pro. And we'll make this bigger to kind of fit. Actually, we'll make that bold itself, or maybe semi-bold. And then the state will make it a little bit bigger too. If I select all of that, then I can center it. Center that. To center them vertically, we can either right click and say text frame options, or you select the frame and you go up to the type menu and object menu and say text frame options. And what this does is it gives you the ability to manipulate the text frame. The preview button is turned on here, and typically it come here for the vertical justification. So we say center, it centers it vertically. Inset spacing, I'm going to uncheck that, and I'm going to make the left and right about 1/8 of an inch, just so I know that I'm not too close to the edge of the name tag. Then I'm going to say OK there. We could actually type this in and say Bellingham, and then Washington. Whoops. I'm actually going to change this font to Minion Pro. Minion Pro. And actually take the bold off of that one, just make it regular. And I want to add a little bit of a decoration here. So if I go to the type menu and show glyphs, I get this panel here. And then under here, show, there is, sorry, if I bring that up so you can see it, there's show ornaments. So some fonts have ornaments built into them. And we can look at an ornament, maybe something like that. If I just double click it there, it adds an ornament, and double click it again there. Maybe put a space there and there. And I'm actually going to add a little bit of, I'm done with the glyphs there. I'm going to add a little bit of leading to it so that it's a little more spaced out, but centered. And so that's kind of how I want the type to look, with the city and state and so on. So I can save this as my template. I'm going to do save as. We'll put desktop. We'll say name tag template to the desktop. I'll click save. And now we're ready to add the data.